of Greater Thoughts, is also a motivational speaker and a mind coach, helping you to untrap your mind. In order to elevate your team, your organization, or your business, visit Robert Collins on theuntrappedmind.com or follow him on Instagram at Greater7Thoughts. That's greater, the number 7 thoughts. Robert Collins says, all success starts with a thought. Now turn that thought into action and go be great.
Above the noise of positivity reign. Each step I take, I conquer fear and pain. Greater thoughts echo through my mind. Uplifted, I soar, leaving shadows behind. Each word I speak, transforming my fate.
Good morning, good morning. It is your host, Mr. RC. You have once again tuned into the Greater Thoughts Morning Show. And as I tell you every Thursday morning, 8 o'clock here in Charlotte, 5 o'clock if you're in Cali, and wherever you are in the world, my gratitude is with you. Thank you. I know you could be doing anything in the world with your Thursday morning other than listening to my voice. But you chose to listen to my voice. So, hey, my gratitude is with you. Thank you. As you know, I tell you all the time, start your day off with gratitude. It's the best attitude. When you start your day off with gratitude, it does nothing but fuel your day in a positive way. So today I'm doing something different. You know, I haven't done this in a while. Did it twice last year. Didn't do it at all the year before. So today I have a political day. You know, I usually come to you guys with, things that have to do with your mindset and upliftment of yourself and the people around you. And I had Kimberly Owens on last year, and I also had Mr. Rodney Collins, no relation, but Rodney Collins in the building who was running for sheriff. Well, we're getting real close to that point now. So today I have something special. Rodney has a gentleman that he's running against by the name of Ricky. And today I bring both of them in the building with me today. How you doing, gentlemen?
Good, doing fine.
Good to see you all this morning. How's everything your way, Mr. Collins?
Everything is going great.
And how about you, Mr. Ricky?
No complaints. Everything's good.
Well, as you guys know, that I brought you in for a mini debate, if we can call it that. So I'm gonna throw the first question to you, Mr. Ricky Robbins. When this whole process of running for sheriff, let me just say this real fast. For those of you that don't know, we all look at the sheriffs as there's a whole bunch of sheriffs.
Correct.
But really, there's a sheriff and everybody else is an officer upholding the sheriff's office. Is that correct? Deputy sheriffs. So there's only one sheriff. Make sure that you know that. All over the country, it's all the same. There's only one sheriff. Everybody else is the deputy. So when you first came into this, it was just going to be you, and you were going against Rodney.
Correct.
Now, Mr. McFadden, the current sheriff, has decided that he's going to look to keep his seat as well. Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel? What do you think about that?
No, I don't have a problem with it. And as I said from day one, when I announced that I was running for sheriff in Mecklenburg County, my goal and what I've always said from the start is I'm not running against an individual. I'm not running against anybody that's, whether they're here now, in the past. I'm running for the office of sheriff, so I'm not running against a person. I'm running on my platform and what I need to do and what I can do for Mecklenburg County. So regardless of who's in the race, my race didn't change. It's not going to change, and I focus and stay on the same path.
Okay. And same question to you.
So, I feel similar. My expertise, my knowledge, my experience within the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office itself, being a 30-year employee, is really my why, because I bring such a wealth of institutional knowledge and from both the operational and the business side, and I know that I bring something different to that role. So that's my whole purpose of running for sheriff. It's not necessarily who the other candidates are. It's really about my expertise and experience and what I bring to that role.
Okay, well, with that being said, we'll jump in and give you the next question. And as you guys know, I have a lot of questions for you this morning. So the people have sent me questions.
Yes.
The people have sent me questions. So one of the questions that I got to ask is, take a moment, and I'm going to give you the same moment, but take a moment and really break down your expertise. Why do you feel that you're even a suitable candidate?
Absolutely. So, my law enforcement career started in the United States Air Force as a military policeman. After separating from the Air Force, I joined the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office. So, I've had an opportunity throughout the course of my 30-year career with the Sheriff's Office to work in every major division within the Sheriff's Office on various levels, being promoted up and through the ranks all the way to Chief Deputy, which is a position I held almost 8 years prior to retiring. So when you talk about institutional knowledge, working everywhere within that actual space, that's the expertise that I bring. So the rest of the field, they have their qualifications, they have things that they've accomplished in their career. Mine is actual Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office experience. Everything is done in that actual space. When you're talking about running divisions, when you're talking about writing policy, setting the trajectory of an organization and being responsible for a lot of its growth and innovation, policies, procedures that are still in use to this day. That has been my contribution in that actual space.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, Ricky?
Well, when I started thinking about running, one of the things that I know that you need is, I've been in law enforcement over 40 years. I worked at the Charlotte Police Department, Mecklenburg County Police Department, Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department when they consolidated them both. I learned that one thing you need to know as a leader is that you need to know the community. You need to have worked with the community. You should have worked not only in controlled environments, but also when things are happening in real time. I've been in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County. I've been out front for the citizens of Mecklenburg County during my whole career. I've worked every area that you can work, to include recruitment, training, traffic enforcement, homicide, every investigative unit, school resource, tactical unit, operations. So I've commanded and led every division within a police department. I've worked every area of Mecklenburg County that it is. I've worked the entire county to include the 6 towns. When you do that, you get a feel for what people want, you get a feel for what people need. And for the last 15 years, I've been working directly as confidant and right directly to the chief of police in Mecklenburg County, which controls all law enforcement throughout this county, the lead agency. So I've been able to be up front at every major incident that occurs. And so when you do that, you get the knowledge, you get the skills, you know what people want, you know what people need. I've seen and I've worked with the sheriff's agency since my career. So I'm born and bred in North Carolina, born here in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County. As a person born here and coming up through the ranks, coming up through the city and the county and being able to join in with people, I know that that's what you need, is people that have been out here on the front line with you, not Monday morning quarterbacking, but out on Sunday night. So I know that I bring a wealth of knowledge, opportunity. I have worked in recruitment and training, so I know what it takes to recruit people. I know what it takes to retain people. And when you retain people in an organization, the recruitment element is already there. So I'm one of these people that have always been able to do that. In every unit I've worked in and worked around, I've made sure that I kept people accountable, at the same time accountable to the community. I believe in letting people know what's going on today, not tomorrow. And if you face things head on, then you solve most of your problems that way.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, gentlemen. So the next question I have is actually coming from the Mayor Pro Tem. He asked me to ask you to explain your leadership, and you go first this time. But before we do that, Ricky, what is your current position?
I'm assigned to the Office of the Chief, so I assist the Chief. I work all officer-involved shootings, officer-involved crashes. I also supervise Homicide Support Group, which is a group of anybody that loses a loved one to a homicide. I have a unit that works for me that go out immediately when it happens to assist those families. Also directly with families who lose loved ones to traffic crashes also.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that. If you hadn't known, you should have went and listened to the show when Rodney was here before, but he's retired. So we now know that he's retired. I didn't just leave him out. So the first question is coming back to you, Ricky. James Mitchell asked me to ask for you to explain your leadership style.
My leadership style has always been is I believe in working with employees. I believe in making sure that every unit that I've ever supervised and commanded, making sure that we have the best training, the best equipment, and that most of all, making sure that I'm looking out for their health and welfare to make sure that they're all right when they're at work. Law enforcement is the most stressful thing you can do because this is one job. Police and fire are probably one only two jobs. When you leave home, you don't know if you're coming back. And so to make sure that those people that come to work for you understand that you know that the stress that they're under, and you're not allowing undue stress unto them. I've also believed in making sure that as long as an employee is honest with me, I can work with the employee and will try to do my best to retain employees. So I believe that that's very important. I believe that I've always led by example. I've always been with my people in good and bad. And like I said, I don't believe in sitting in the office. I believe in being out here and being with your people and making sure they know that you know their job. Because if you know someone's job, they're going to do a better job because they know you know what they should and shouldn't be doing. But I believe in holding people accountable. But at the same time, I believe in being fair. I've always believed in making sure that when I take a group picture of an organization, of something that I'm supervising and commanding, you see that everybody that's ever worked for me in any division and unit I've been in, you see black, white, male, female. I believe in we represent the community. We don't represent one sector, and that everybody sees. And when people see that, they know what to expect from you.
Good, good. Same question to you, Mr. Collins.
So my leadership style is one of fairness and equity. I believe in holding people accountable. I believe in structure. A lot of what we do in this business is predicated around laws and structure, and there's a way that we go about it. I think that it's very important to be competent, to be skilled, to be one that's approachable, to coach your personnel, and to give them constant feedback for their own professional growth and development. Those things are critical for a good leader, to lead by example, to set that appropriate example, to model that day in and day out consistently with people. And I used to say this to all my people when I would give expectations up front, is that I say what I mean and I mean what I say. Mm-hmm. So with me, you always know where you stand. And I think that's always extremely important, to be communicative with your personnel and to make sure they have honest feedback.
Grandma told you that one. Yeah. Grandma don't play when she said,
no.
I said what I mean and I mean what I said. And if Granddad had to say it, you knew you was in trouble.
In trouble. That's right.
I know that's right. So the next question is coming to you first, Rodney. This one is coming from me.
Okay.
Tell me something about the current sheriff that you do not particularly care for, and what difference you want to make in that area.
It's a great question, Robert. So let me say this, that every administration has their way in doing things, no more than I would be different in my approach to doing things. One of the things that I don't currently like is our current promotional process. It used to be a very highly structured process where there was a written test, there was a promotional board, there was a structured interview, there was an assessment center. All of these things were done to ensure, number one, fairness, and number two, equity, so that you promoted the most qualified candidates in a competitive process. When you allow people that can't pass a written exam of your policies, procedures, and guidelines that you'll use as a supervisor to make decisions, and then you fast forward to where there are problems later on with retention, how things are managed, how they respond in certain situations. There was no other expectation other than look at when you result back to making these type of decisions that are not based in fairness and equity. So that would be one of the number one priorities that I would change immediately.
Okay, thank you. And your same question, Ricky.
Well, and you got to be careful, because when anybody that's the number one person in any organization, the things that you deal with is going to be different. The thing that I don't, or would say that I wouldn't agree with that the current sheriff is doing and that I would change immediately would be his approach to the media and to other people, I guess, or agencies. I don't believe in, if I have a problem with any federal, state, or local organization, I don't believe in airing that on the media. I believe that you're put in position and you're put in charge. You should be able to come to the table and talk to whoever or whomever you have that problem with. And I think you have to be careful because once you get in front of a camera and somebody is asking you questions and you're talking about another agency, whatever, that can come back to haunt you because you start defending yourself too much. And so you can handle those situations by sitting down at the table. Everybody has a director or supervisor. That's who I need to be directing it to.
Okay.
And I need to be letting the media know that, yeah, maybe I don't get along with the FBI, ATF, whomever, just as an example.
Yes.
But, you don't need to know that. The public doesn't need to know the level of the disagreements that we're having. They need to know that maybe, yeah, we're working through some things and we're going to make sure that we can accomplish the same goal at the end of the day. But to get upset and let people see that you're upset, it can start to affect, and that trickle down effect can affect you later on. So my approach being in front of the media, as I've always said, that, I don't believe in talking down about people, talking about people. I believe in handling your problems in your own home, and then we go out and we start to try to handle them. But I don't, that's the thing that I would change and not agree with is the method, I guess, in which the way he directs that. I think he could change that.
And see, let me tell you, you lead me right into greater thoughts. I'm going to just go ahead and let you know. You lead me right into greater thoughts. And the way that I received what you just said was very good. Mm-hmm. And I want to go ahead and throw the next question to you.
Yes, sir.
Based on your last statement, you don't like to throw, people under the bus.
Correct.
A lot of times when you're in these political debates, or you're in a contest, or we're in a championship game and we're going against the other team, they look to find where one coach can say something about another coach. One player says something about another player. They're looking to have fuel to throw on the fire to make the blaze brighter. Well, this blaze I want you to make brighter. Here it is. Tell me something that you admire about Rodney.
I think Rodney's his approach when he's public. I think his calm demeanor. And I can't say that I've seen him out publicly without a positive attitude and a smile, and that's what I admire in people. And like I said, if he's got a problem with me or anybody else, then he's not airing that out there where I'm hearing and seeing it. And like I said, that perception to me is more important than anything else. Is when I see him, and I'll tell you, anytime I've seen Rodney, I give people the credits just like this credit is, whether he's sitting here or not, I'll tell anybody that, and I've told anybody, anytime Rodney sees me, he either comes up to me and we have a conversation, I come up to him, and it's never been one where he's pushed me away, I pushed him away, and that to me is more important than, saying, hey, I'm running for this, and since you're running for the same thing, we can't talk. I got along with Rodney before this race, and I'll get along with him during the race. I'll get along with him after the race. That doesn't affect me. And I've been admired and respected him for handling himself, at least around me, the same way.
Thank you. Well, now you get to say the same. You get to, well, not the same, but you get a chance to rebut that.
Absolutely. So, I don't know if Ricky remembers. Ricky actually taught motor vehicle law in my BLET.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on.
So that's the basic law enforcement training.
Yeah, because the regular folks don't know what a BLET is. Sound like a bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
So what that is when you're hired on, you go through the training academy, and so you have instructors that teach various blocks in what they call basic law enforcement training. And Ricky was an instructor when I was a rookie coming through. So that's how far we go back. So that was, gosh.
What year was that?
That was 94.
94, okay.
That was 1994. So when I started at the sheriff's office. So, and then over the course of our careers in various stages, I've had an occasion to bump into Ricky at different events, other things. I remember coming to CMPD to work the command post and other things. We've had large-scale events over the course of the years with DNC and other spaces that we've been in together, and it's always been a very professional and cordial relationship. He's anytime, and I think he was one of the ones that if you needed something from sheriff's office, they knew who to contact, and it's vice versa. If I needed something from CMPD's end, I had a list of people that I could call and contact. So it's always been that healthy relationship professionally, regardless of the two agencies that we were both in. And so even as we move into this race, it's competitive, yes, but I don't think it has to be adversarial.
That's good.
In that regard, is that we're both competing. We both think that we have something to offer the citizens of this community. So, and it almost falls on them to make an informed choice. So, but no, it doesn't impact our relationship at all. And I think that regardless of this process and how it pans out, that we treat each other with dignity and respect.
That's good. That's good. So let me ask you this, and we'll start with you on this one, Rodney. What difference do you want to make within the first 90 days?
Within the first 90 days, I want to reset that workplace culture.
In what way?
By modeling a positive example of leadership, being clear, concise. And this is one of the things I talk about when I talk about my wealth of experience and what I bring to that role, having worked there for so long and been responsible for so many different aspects of it, that coming in as sheriff, being a competent professional in that actual space to reset that culture, to really move the organization forward would be one of the first things I want to do in that within that first 90 days is really resetting that culture.
Thank you. And what about for you? What would you like to do in the first 90 days?
Well, first of all, as soon as I get in office, the first thing is to make sure that everybody knows that what I've said when I ran the campaign is what they're going to see. I'm going into an organization where I don't owe anybody anything, so that to me is a positive because nobody will see me coming through the door and say, hey, I know Ricky, so I'm going to get promoted. Hey, I know Ricky, so I'm going to get transferred here or there. Everybody will have an equal platform. Everybody will know that they're getting graded on what they do and how they do it and not because of who they are. And I think when they see that I'm a positive person and I believe in rewarding people, I believe in making sure that we're going to have a sharp performance, that we're going to be an agency that I don't want to be looked at as the best agency in North Carolina, but best across the country, and have the best for them, and that I have their safety and respect at heart, that my biggest goal is to make sure that we retain people, that our staffing levels are where they should be and the people are placed where they should be, that they'll see the improvements, they'll see the difference, and they'll feel better. And once you feel better about yourself, you feel better about others, and your performance takes care of itself. So by leading from the front, as I said, and they see that I'm going to tell them, I expect the same of people that work under my command, that we're here to keep you. We're not here to run people off. We're here to make sure you're safe. I want everybody to return home safe. I want the inmates to be safe. I want my staff to be safe. And if people know that safety's first and that's what you care about and that's what you're looking for every day and everybody to go home, then I think I'm going to accomplish my goal.
That's good. That's good. This show is going quickly. We're at 22 more. We got about 8 more minutes left, and then our show is going to be over for the day. And I have so many questions. I'm coming back to you, Ricky. Here's the one thing I want you to tell us. Just one thing. This is real simple. Might be real difficult. What is your greatest attribute?
Trust.
Trust.
People know that when I tell them that this is what I'm going to do for you, that gets accomplished. And that's what I've always done in my career. And anybody that's ever worked for and around me, they know that I've always been there for them, that they could trust me, whether it's in a adversarial, whether or not we're in the middle of a SWAT situation or a calm situation on a homicide scene. Regardless, they know that, hey, I got your back. You can trust me. And what I'm doing is best for you. It's best for the department. It's best for the community.
So trustworthy is your word.
Correct.
All right. And what about you, sir?
My greatest attribute is my work ethic. That deep commitment that I have for my craft, for the people, for the organization, that commitment that you see day in and day out. Someone who's worked an entire career and didn't miss a day. So that's what I bring to
perfect
that
attendance.
role. Perfect attendance, brother. I mean, don't miss work. Had a ton of sick time when I retired. Just from that, it's just that commitment of showing up every day and making sure that you model that for those that are watching you, because you set that example for the organization. So just being there, being consistent, saying what you mean and mean what you say is something that It's my biggest attribute.
So you're bringing that back twice.
Bringing that back twice.
All right, I hear you. So we're coming back to you, Rodney, with this next question. One thing that we hear about all the time in this area is the lack of law enforcement. I've heard that there's like over a total of 600 open vacancies between the sheriff's office and the police department.
Correct.
What are you going to do, specifically you, to help change that?
So there are a lot of strategies, and we've done multiple things in both organizations, I believe. We've thrown money at it. We've offered all kinds of incentives. But I think one of the key parts is that as a person in a leadership role in an organization, really setting that culture, making it a place where people want to work and want to stay is extremely important. But from the business side of it, it's a tough sell right now. People don't want to be in law enforcement for whatever reason. And then you coming in and you're talking about an erosion of benefits, and it's not the same retirement or pension that was offered to us when we were coming through. So, but being very intentional about recruiting, targeting people, and then welcoming them into the organization and making it a place where they want to stay. Because by and large, I still believe in the nobility of public service. I still think it's a very admirable profession, and I think it's a great place to work. It's just that we have to constantly be intentional about keeping those vacancies filled, making sure that we're always competitive with pay and benefits, and really being an advocate for the wellness of our staff.
Okay. And Mr. Ricky, what is your answer to that same question?
And one of the things on my platform is recruitment and retention. And I think when you talk about the vacancies that we have, like Collins was saying, it's across the board. All departments nationally are going through a thing right now. But I think one of the things that I know that I want to do and know that we should be doing, when I started in law enforcement, the sheriff's office, majority of the people came from Mecklenburg County. I knew a lot of these deputies from growing up with them, from living around them. And I think when you get back to grassroots and you start looking at people in your community, number one thing I want to do is I want to go and start looking and talking to people in high school. You have to start talking to people now at a younger age, and when you talk about law enforcement, if you start thinking about going and talking to seniors and saying, listen, you need to be thinking about your future. Everybody here doesn't want to attend college. Everybody here don't want to go to the military. There's things you can do to better yourself, but for the next 2-3 years, what you need to understand, number one, is you need to keep yourself out of trouble. You need to keep yourself out of drugs. And so you can't wait till people get to 20, 21 years old and start approaching them. We need to start approaching them with a high school baseline that we can talk to them about this. The other thing is, community colleges, these 2-year colleges are more important to us right now than 4-year colleges. Most people are not attending a 4-year college to come into law enforcement. Mm-hmm. But people in community college have a different, sometimes the way they approach things, the way they do things. More people in community college are people that are already out here working. A person that's already out here working a job and learning things are looking for benefits, things like that, to take care of their families. The military bases are always important. I admire anybody, Collins, anybody been in the military. That's the backbone of this country. So, always you should be hitting these military bases. We have a ton of military bases that we should be going to. So I want to make sure that I'm hitting the high schools, trying to get people to keep themselves where they can get a profession without ruining their career early on. The community colleges, because that's so important. And like I said, and going back in Mecklenburg County, we have a lot of people here. You get better work when you grow up here, as we did. This is your home. Mm-hmm. I think when this is your home, you have more pride in what you do and want to do. And like I said, the recruitment part is going to come by working those avenues, by the way I treat people, the way they come to work, and they see that things are for them. The retention part is going to be there. And when you retain people in any police department, when people say people are not leaving here, people from other agencies are going to come here. It happens with any department across the country.
That's good.
If people stay, other people are going to come, because nobody wants to go work for somebody when you say you lost 20 people last week, because you're going to be 21.
That's it. Really quickly, tell Everyone that's interested in finding more about you, how do they do that? What's the website?
www.rickyforsheriff.com. You can also look up just Ricky Robbins, but they need to go on and make sure they look that up so they can go on and vote for me.
And for you?
Collins for Sheriff. Collins, the number 4 for sheriff.com.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. That's been another episode of Greater Thoughts Morning Show. And before I leave you, gentlemen, I must remind you one thing.
What's that?
All success starts with a thought. Take those thoughts, turn them into action, and go be great. Thanks for coming in, gentlemen. God bless.
Thank you.
Look, next week we'll have another great episode for you. See you next Thursday, 8 a.m.